Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Judy Allen here, also known as Nana. And today is Teach Me Nana. I'm going to show you how to make an alternative from the best there is, right? Father's Day is right around the corner, so today's Father's Day card is perfect. So we are going to be using the graduation card fun fold. And I don't know what else they call it because there's a fun fold and it makes easily into a graduation hat, right? But I'm going to show you what else we can do with it, all right? So let's go down the hands and let's do this. There's no reason why we can't make that Father's Day card and be on time because that's next week. So good to be home. And I have my regular setup. So here are the cards we have already made. This is the alternative we made last week, in case you missed it. And then here are the other cards that we made as well as two. So I'm just going to put these aside. And I'm going to show you how we're going to make the base for the fun fold. So I'm going to use my scorer on my cutting scoring nail. And you're really going to need a full sheet of paper at 8.5 by 11. All right. So what we're going to do is take this and we're going to cut it down to a square of 8.5 by 8.5. And I'm not going to adjust my camera at the moment because that would really help. I'll just move this up here this way. And so we already know it's 8.5 across, so we're just going to cut this down to 8.5. And we'll put the extra aside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to score. So we're going to score at 4 1/4 because that's going to be half of our 8.5 by 8.5. So yes, I was just scrambling here because I got to see my friend Nancy from El Paso. We just had breakfast together. At a nonprofit, run by a nonprofit called Comfort Cafe in San Antonio. If you're ever here, helps them with their nonprofit. All right, so I've got 4 squares right here, right? Where I scored it because I did 4 1/4 on each side. Now I'm just going to take this, and I talked a little bit about this on Wednesday on Adventurous Stampin' on Facebook. So you want to line this corner right here where it's going to cut. Can you see that? It's just right here. When you cut, it's going to come right there, and you can see it. We're not going to cut. We're just going to score. But we're just going to line it up right on that point. And then at the top here, we're going to do the same thing. See how that lines up right there where normally we would cut? So instead of cutting, we are going to actually score the line. So we just take this and score it. It's going to go right evenly down the middle there. Okay? And that's important because that's what makes this work. So I've already done it. So I've already folded. So you just go and fold on the score lines. I'm not going to be using this for this because I already got my colors picked out. But I like to go and fold on every score line so I see what's going on. Right? Because you don't score it unless you're going to use it. Okay? So when you do this here, you're going to see that these two are scored to the line across. So we're just going to poke these in. So the triangle's there. And you can use your bone folder to sit up there and get that crease in there a lot better. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just going to come across. We could have just as easily, right, come across and fold it across that line. It works any way you can do it, which is easiest for you. Because when you get through folding it in, it should look like a square. All right? So yeah, so we got our square. Now this is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square. So that'll go in your regular envelope. All right? So that's one of the cool things about this is that you can do that. So what we're going to do here is, I've already got had some other color choices and I'll show you. On the back of the instructions for the paper pumpkin kit, they tell you colors that coordinate with it. So if you look, this is the back and you zoom it in for you. See here it says coordinate stamping up colors. So I picked 2 of those today to possibly use. And I have used, this is Pool Party. And this is Misty Moonlight. So I didn't want to use Misty Moonlight. I went ahead and used the Pool Party, but it was a little much, so I had to work on toning it down just a little bit, right? I like it, but you may not. So when I put this like right here, and I want to do Father's Day, I wasn't sure. You know, it's up to you. We all have different opinions. Today, I really loved it like this. Last night, I wasn't crazy about it, all right? So that just shows you what sleeping does for you. So let's go ahead with what I did last night when I put this all together and everything. This is actually from the kit, the card. So I took one of the card bases and I cut them down to 4 inches by 4 inches. Why? Because this will sit up here And let me put this right here. And just by adding this one color, so this one I couldn't control. This one was made like this. It was a little bit longer, and I cut it down. So the width of this one, so you can see, is 3 3/4. So in order for me to have a square, I had to cut off part of the bottom of this so I would have 3 3/4. So I did that so I could have this right here. So I just did this just to tone it down just a little bit. I really liked it like this. But for Father's Day, I thought I would just add a little brown in here, okay? So this is actually just what was in the kit. So let's go ahead and put this down. And I have I'm so glad to be home, right? Because it's what I'm used to. I've got my cameras used to where they're at. I've got my technology that I'm so used to using. Not that I don't use my laptop, I'm just not used to using it for my lives and all. So we're just going to put this. Now the nice thing is when we do a square, right? You can rotate it any way you want until you decide that's the place you want it to land, right? So we're going to put the square just right here. And I'm just going to put it in with adhesive down. But you can see how this wants to fold up. So again, I would just make sure, so when it folds open, it's going to look like this, right? So we're going to do something on the inside. But so if you want to, and it's not down enough for you, just use your bone fold or something and go back over it. I'm not worried about it at the moment because I know I'm going to keep on adding stuff to it. So I'm just getting the front done, and then we're going to do something on the inside. We're going to make it a gift holder on the inside. So not only is it a fun fold, which I've done this several ways. So not only is it a fun fold, but it is also a gift card holder. All right. So we're going to do this, and then I got this here. I wanted to put this right here. It's going to go nicely right there. And then we're going to turn around and we're going to stamp Happy Father's Day on this. And we're going to just have this right below it. Okay. So I'm going to put this all up on dimensionals. Let me grab the dimensionals right here. We're going to go ahead and put it up. So you just sort of have to look at the placement, right? Because you're dealing with a square. When we built the original card, when we did it at the end of the last Sunday of the month of May, we built it how they did it in the kit itself. And so with this, when we said they go down, we're actually going down in size, right? Because the regular cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yeah. And so what we've done is we're smaller now, so we have to accommodate for that, right? So I'm just going to put this to the left, and I'll show you when we get to the end how the other one looked when we sat up there and did it for the last Sunday of the month, okay? So we're just going to go put the stamp on here because I don't have that ready. Because I actually scrambled into the door after breakfast just in time to do this. So happy Father's Day. A week and 2 days from now. So if you aren't ready, get ready, right? There's no reason why you can't be ready. And this is just easy. This stamp set, right, came with the kit. So usually every year at this time, they usually have something related to Father's Day, right? So we're just going to stamp it here. And then we're going to turn around and I'm going to attach this to just to the bottom, like right here. Okay? We did originally with a glue dot. I'm just going to do mine with some adhesive right here. Running across the bottom. Okay, and you know what? And I just rake it across my hand and that's been working just great if I have any other issues. So we're just going to center it right here. Like that. And then we're going to put it up on dimensionals. And then we'll have the front part of the card done, and then you get to see now what we're going to do to the inside of the card. And as I'm looking at that, thinking I might have to cut one more for the inside. We'll see. All right, so we're just going to put like right here. Move it just a tad bit more. We'll let it cross over. It's okay to have layers, right? That's what makes it all look so cool. All right, so there is the front of our graduation card, pop-up card. All right, now let's go to the inside. Okay, so originally I was just going to put white, but I said with Father's Day and all, let's go ahead and put this here. So we're going to go ahead and put this down. Again, it's the cardstock, and now I'm going to have to go and cut another one, because I don't think last night when I did it, I was doing that. So I added extra layer tape, but I know I've meant to. All right, so we're just going to go right here and do this. And then here is, we're going to just, this is a 4 by 4. You put it together, you see your square. 4x4, and we cut it in half diagonally. All right, and this is going to make our pocket. So with this one, I am just going to use glue. Okay, and I'm just going to go lightly on the edges. And so that way you can stick a gift card in here. So so we're only going to adhere down 2 sides. Now the larger side's going to be open. And we're just going to put it right here on the edge. There you go. So now we're going to have our pocket. Now, I thought it'd be way too cool if we at least stamped some trees. Then we don't have to. We can or cannot. So the other side, let me see what I have handy that we can do on the other side. All right, I'll tell you what. I got this one right here. But it's not going to, it'll be fine. I'll show you what we'll do. We'll improvise. So it looks the same, right? But this is a wood grain. So I think last night I was thinking that I could use this wood grain. But when you put this here next to the wood grain, it was just too much wood, right? So it was like, okay, we'll just do differently. So let's go ahead and we're going to cut this down to a 4x4. So when we take the envelope and do this, we're just trimming off the edges, right? Let's see. Tell you what, I'll trim off the sides because I have enough. I was looking on the back side to make sure. So we're just going to cut that off. Just the trim, right? And then we're going to snatch a 4x4 out of this. Or cut us a 4x4 out of it. And then we're going to put that on the other side, and we're actually going to stamp and put it there. So all we're doing is we're just cutting off all the stuff we won't be using, right? We just start squaring things up. So if you're doing fabric, you do the same thing, right? Let me see if I got 3 inches. I don't need 3 inches. I need, so it needs to be 1/4 inch less, right? So if we measure this right here, just so you can see. I'll put it up here so you can see. All right, so this is actually 4 1/4. So this needs to be on the inside, 1/4 inch less is 4x4, right? So this isn't quite big enough, so we're gonna have to go to this other side. And I'm not too worried because we can hide some of this anyway. So we'll go to the flap here. We can still use this, right? We're not gonna throw it away. We'll use it for something. All right, I'm just sort of squaring things up. So if you were making a quilt, right, you have to square things up. So like what we're doing right now, we want to square things up. All right, so we're going to do 4 here. So we're going to have a 4x4, and that's just going to be 1/4 inch less than our 4 1/4, what our card is. So what I envision is, and what we're going to do, is we're going to go ahead and take this piece here, and it's going to blend nicely, right, because the fact that the color scheme goes together. So we're going to go ahead and put this down, and then I'm going to use another tag from the kit, and we're going to stamp some more sentiment there. Just going to do it diagonally like this here, right? So we're centering it, and that's just what gives it the nice little extra touches, right? Okay, so this is leftover. We can use it for another card. This is what we're going to stamp on here, okay? So, in addition to what we already did, this one's going to say, you got Happy Father's Day. This says, with love and admiration to the most amazing person. The most amazing person. So, if it's Father's Day, you give it to your father, he most probably is the most amazing person, right? I know my father was the most amazing person to me. Still is. Even if he is in his heavenly home. Right? Doesn't matter. They're always in your heart. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this. And we're going to center it. Okay, and then we're just going to turn around and put it in here. Right here. Right? Because we can do that. And just yet, there we go. Breaks that right across the hand. That works. And we'll put it right there. And we're just going to center it too, right? So when they open it up, we've got Happy Father's Day to you. And they open it up and it says, with love and admiration to the most amazing person. So you can sign it anywhere you want to. You can sign up here and stamp some trees if you want to. That's what I was thinking of, is that we could stamp some trees. But I don't want to do it in blue. I want to do it in like an early espresso brown. Oops, took that one off. Let's see what we got here from last month. I'll take my trees off here so I can stamp them. This is a basic gray. That'll work okay. That was from last month with our delicate wings. So yes, I saved all of my little ink spots because they come in handy, right? They come in handy for travel or anything else. So you can actually do it this way if you want to, or do it like I did a minute ago. I just want to make sure everything's inked up well, right? Because once you stamp it, it's stamped. And I'm doing it on the inside too. So just make sure it's all inked up well. And I'm just going to stamp it right here, right above where I'm going to put my gift card. And then you can put anything else you want to put. So see how simple that was? It's just a simple fun fold. Okay, we took an 8.5 by 11, cut it down to 8.5 by 8.5. Then we set up there and scored at 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and then we came across diagonally. And we just, when we folded this, folded like this here, that's how it would look, right? And then when you open it, you're just pushing these in, and that gives you the graduation card look. And we have our Happy Father's Day. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's not that hard to make. It allows you to go in there and stamp more if you want to, or you can sign more. If you really wanted to be very adventuresome, this my suggestion would be is take some of these squares, the 4x4s, and just put them in here. And you can do whatever you want to do, right? It just gives it an extra little look by doing that. Almost gives it a pinwheel look, right? And then we'd have to add 2 more, which wouldn't be hard to do either. And you can put whatever you want to on here. So with that, I hope you enjoyed that. So this is what we made today, all right, for our Happy Father's Day. So I hope you enjoyed it, because it really isn't that challenging to do, right? It's just knowing the math, knowing what we have to have, and just going and making it. So I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too, because it's all about going out there, create, sharing, and giving that card you made to someone, right? So I have Happy Father's Day cards ready to give out. What about you? You have a week and 2 days before Father's Day. So go out there, create, share, and give. And if you enjoyed it today, be sure to share this with your friends and all. That would be appreciated. But also be sure to follow us, not only here, but on YouTube, where we'll post our videos, and also on Instagram, where we'll post the photos of the cards. Be blessed, and I look forward to seeing you next week on Teach Me Nana, where we will do another alternative. Bye.